get it done against the Nuggets last night, who were playing without Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Steph Curry had an off-shooting night, only making 6 of his 21 shots and adding 7 turnovers. Post-game, Steve Kerr had a simple explanation for Curry's struggles. Steve.
He's exhausted right now, so we've got to absolutely consider giving him a night and getting him rejuvenated for the sake of him and our the remainder of our games. But we'll see. But I think he's been tired the last few games, and so we've got to find a way to get him his juice back.
All right, so Steph needing a little rest. Stephen, do you feel like the Warriors are putting too much on him, relying on him too much?
Well, I've always felt that way, and it dissipated to some degree once Jimmy Butler arrived. And the reason why I bring up Jimmy Butler's penchant for getting to the free throw line, as Shannon has brought up, that I have said on several occasions, is because when you get to the free throw line, you're able to provide yourself and your teammates rest. And in Steph Curry's case, he absolutely needs that. The guy is 37 years of age. He runs around all the time. Obviously, he's the ultimate marksman the game has ever seen, and Steve Kerr knows that better than anybody because he's made Steve Kerr the coach that he is. And so when you take all of those things into consideration, one must say, all right, how much can one individual take? He's 6'3", he's not 6'9", he can't post anybody up, all right, can't play with his back to the basket and score points in the lane and stuff like that. He makes his money, shooting the basketball, getting open enough to shoot the basketball, creating space for himself, moving around without the basketball, out conditioning everybody. And when you put that kind of load on him, where he's the guy you're constantly looking for, he's only human. One got to ask themselves, how long can you last? And I think that, they've tried, they went out and got him help. And I think it's gone a long way for them, so credit to the Golden State Warriors organization. But it doesn't negate the fact that there was entirely too much on his shoulders. And even Draymond alluded to that when he talked about how Steph was just, I don't want to put words in his mouth because I don't remember exactly what he said, but he talked about how it was a lot on him. And it was clearly wearing him down until they got Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler revitalized them. It still doesn't negate the fact that everything goes through Steph Curry. And it's a lot to put on his shoulders. So I don't think that Steve Kerr was exaggerating about that at all.
Is you talking about mental or physical fatigue? Because he's playing the fewest minutes since 2017, 2018. Also, his 18 shot attempts, that's what his career average is, 18 shot attempts a game. Everything, for the most part, rebounds and assists are what they are. So are you saying he's mentally or physically fatigued? Stephen A., isn't that what we ask about superstars? Is to put that burden? I never remember you having this when we were talking about GOAT James. You never said he was tired. You never said he needed a rest.
That's not true. That's not true. That's false. I'm very disappointed because it shows you wasn't watching me as much as I thought you did. There have been times when I've said that. As a matter of fact, let me give you a heart attack right now. Do you know I've been on the record? Do you know I've been on the record in the past and I've gone like this? Man, stop judging LeBron from November to April. Come to me in April, May, and June. That's what his career is about. Leave that man alone. I've actually said that in the past. I know your GOAT James hears what he wants to hear when he wants to hear it and doesn't hear other stuff like you do as well. Y'all go conveniently deaf at times, but these things have been said about LeBron James.
You do realize, like when LeBron was 37, he was averaging 30 a night? You realize that, Stephen A.? When he was 38, he was averaging 29 a night?
Well, he's 6'9", 260.
No, he's 6'9".
Damn.
No, he's 6'9".
Damn.
I have a question.
Yeah, pushing people around.
I have a question, Unc. When we talk about guys who deserve a little bit of rest, we tend to go with the legends, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry. Since the opening tip back in November, who has had more help? Steph, KD, LeBron. How would you rank it?
Probably KD, because he got Book and Bill. And LeBron until he got Luka.
What was Anthony Davis? Chopped liver?
Well, you're right.
That's
Anthony
my
Davis.
point.
Anthony,
Thank you.
Yes.
So those other players, hold on. I'll let you go, big bro. Okay. Those other players have had consistent help, especially as number 2 options. LeBron James had AD. Now he has Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Steph Curry to start the season, the first 40 or so games. He had, what's the song? Nobody, baby. He really didn't have much
Well, if Draymond
help,
making
which
his
is
shot,
why,
that don't count?
first of all, it does count. He's a facilitator, but we're not saying he's a certified number 2 in the NBA, okay? He was not an All-Star this year. He was right where you and I are commentating the All-Star game, okay? But when I think about, Steph Curry, he has not had that help. You know, one of my favorite movies, Waiting to Exhale. He finally could start exhaling 16 games ago when Jimmy Butler came, and they had a 14-2 record. And he went from 22 points, and immediately you saw what some of that pressure alleviated did. He went from 22 to 28. And so, yes, this man, he's carried, I guess you can say, a heavier load than even most superstars while trying to keep them afloat. You can't negate that fact, even though he just got Jimmy Butler.
True, all that what you're saying is true, but Stephen A., Shanae, you know this. As a superstar, as a historically great player, which Steph Curry is, Steph Curry is not getting compared to guys 38. He's getting compared to a younger Steph Curry. We're looking at Steph when he was in his late 20s and early 30s. That's the comparison. It's okay if he starts to slow down for us, but that's not how we judge him. We're not judging him by other guys. We're judging him by the unanimous MVP. We're judging him when he won the other MVP. He ended up winning a championship. That's what we judge him by, which is unfair. Because if we judge him by other superstars, I mean, he's averaging, 24 points a game? 24. I mean, he's right at his average as far as scoring, rebounding, and assists. But because he was younger and he was transcendently great, that's what we compare him to. But if we just look at his averages across the board, Stephen A., they really haven't dipped.
Yeah, but it's not about his averages.
4 and 6.
But it's not about his averages. It's about a coach that knows his player and paying attention. Your coach, you'll sit up there and talk about the coaches that you've played for, Shannon. They knew you. They knew what your weaknesses and what your strengths are, and they knew when you were at peak level and when you were dissipating somewhat. It may not have stopped you from going out there to perform, but you had to log your way through in certain situations because one week you may not have been what you were another week, and they're paid to pay attention to that stuff. This is Steve Kerr that we're talking about, a man who's he's won championships as a player. Now he's won championships as a coach, for crying out loud. He's got about 9 of them. Got about 4 with Golden State. Got about 5 as a player with Chicago and San Antonio. He's played with the greatest ever. He's coaching the greatest shooter ever. He kind of knows what it requires in order to make that run. So he's not looking at him just in the moment. He's forecasting what next month and the month after and the month after is going to require. And he's looking at a guy that he's been coaching all of these years and wondering what he'll have left if he doesn't manage this appropriately. So I don't have no problem with it.
Do you think they should rest him against the Bucks tonight?
I think they should do whatever Steve Kerr decides to do, and Steph as well, because Steph knows himself and Steve Kerr damn sure knows.
All right.
It happens, Stephen, that when we get old. You know what I'm saying? I used to go to the gym when I was younger.
I don't know what
now,
happened.
if I don't feel like going to the gym, I sit my ass at home.
I don't know what you're talking about. I feel better.
I don't know. I don't know anything about you skipping the gym.
He can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about you skipping the gym. I know nothing of that.
Oh, yeah,
By the way, Shanae, most classic scene of all time when Angel Bassett burns all his clothes.
Period. Period. Thank you, Molly.
I could watch that on repeat. All right, Shannon, this one's for you. Not only can you deliver a line, so can Coach Prime. And he's doing just fine, and he's letting us know with a rhyme.
We're so darn blessed we're not stressed. Do you see how I look right now? Do I look stressed? Let me take these glasses off so you can zoom in.